Hey everybody, what's up? In this lesson, we're going to go over just a review of some basic keyframe functions. I have a project built here for the class where you can see we have a few different compositions in which we can create. Let's start on the easing composition. If you don't have that up, just double click on easing, and we have a top ball and a lower ball. And what we're going to do is we're going to select them both and hit P, and we're going to do something a bit different. We're going to select and set keyframes for multiple selected parameters. With both of those selected, you'll see when I hit the stopwatch on one, the stopwatch on the other is created. I'm going to then drag it to close to the end. You may not get to the complete end, and I'm going to drag out the ball to kind of essentially touch the edge here of our scene. If I click away and I go ahead and hit spacebar, you can see we have a nice animation. Now, if I close these and I select multiple layers and hit U, it will reveal your keyframes. Great tip for the ACP exam because you might be asked to adjust a specific parameter that is not visible on screen. Now that I have these going, let's go ahead and play with the easing. On the top one, we're going to keep it pretty basic. Previously, we've learned that you can right-click, go to Keyframe Assistant, and add Easy Ease in, or Easy Ease out. For instance, if I hit Easy Ease out, it's going to ease out of the initial movement. The closer these dots are together, and I'll zoom in a little bit, the slower it will appear. The further apart these dots are, the faster it will appear. Now, it looks like it's kind of lagging, but they actually end up reaching the end at the same exact time. In our last lesson, we learned a little bit about the graph editor. For the bottom ball, I'm going to go ahead and select the graph editor and highlight the word position and just do some real estate adjustments up here with my screen. Let's go into this and hit bit. And let's look at some of these options. So now that I have the ability to adjust these options, let's go ahead and do so. We can go ahead and add some easy ease. We can select the initial keyframe and we can add that element as well. Remember, if we want to get even more advanced, we can hit this XYZ function and we can actually play with both the X and the Y axis. The benefit here is this function gives you access to these amazing Bezier handles, and then you can edit it. So that XYZ function, or separate layers, will get you some really nice results. Now, remembering what I said about the top ball, now that these are all spaced out and clustered in different ways, think about how fast or slow this is going to move when I hit spacebar. Let's go ahead and hit spacebar. There you go. We have very specific easing. Just some other things to kind of play with. We have kind of position animations. Go ahead and try to do a simple position movement. We just kind of did that, but we have scale animation. The difference in scale animation in that comp is if I hit scale, if we have this lock symbol selected, anything I do, if I hit keyframe and then come in here and raise the number, it's going to uniformly scale it. But for non-uniform scale, which you may be asked to do at some point, you have to uncheck this box. And now we can kind of set a scale keyframe, and maybe we just want to kind of have a fun abstract stretching. That would be the difference between these. As always, we can always highlight these, hit our hotkeys, or do an easy ease just to give them a little more visual cushion. How cool is that? Also, don't forget that you can copy and paste keyframes. If I hit copy, and then I hit paste, I can continue to kind of repeat a sequence without having to reset those keyframes manually. Just a trick that could help you down the road. Rotation is very important. That's the R key. And so we've learned in the past couple lessons that if you set rotation and you type, for instance, the number 5, that's going to give us a clockwise rotation. Alternatively, on the counterclockwise, if we set a keyframe, scooch it up and type -5, that's going to give us a opposite direction or counterclockwise measurement. Knowing the difference between those two is really, really important for how you animate. Opacity information, that's T on your keyboard. We've done this before. So we're going to set a few keyframes, and maybe we'll set a third in the middle here just to kind of almost give it that fade in, fade out effect. Pretty easy. Now, the extra fun is where we get a little bit tricky. What if we want to animate something on a path? What you see here is we have essentially a ball and a path. And this is actually a really fun way to animate. The way that this works is you're going to want to find the path of your path, which sounds really weird, but essentially you're going to find that path and you're going to copy it. And when we go to animate, and I'm going to hit P for position, you can see I have all these animation. Let's go ahead and turn that keyframe off so it's not moving. If I paste those on there, it's going to automatically set the ball to the path. Let me do that again because that probably seemed easier than it should have been for folks. So let's say we have an element like a rocket ship or a ball that doesn't need to, again, be animated in a specific way. And we've decided, well, we really want it to follow this path. So we can use our pen tool, and this doesn't have to be a visible path. This could be an invisible path. I'm going to open it and find the word path and highlight it right there. And I'm going to hit Control or Command C or edit, copy. And then I'm going to close that, hit P for position, and highlight the position, and hit Control or Command V. And that's going to give us some nice kind of movement. There you have it. Now that I have that, the final way I want to show you that you can animate, and we're going to create a new composition for this, is actually source text. This is actually a really cool, almost hidden feature of animation. But we're going to create a new composition here and just get our text tool and type design. Any word can work. And we're going to scale this up a little bit. Now, what if we want to animate this word changing? And we don't want to necessarily have tons of layers. For this is when you would go and open your drawer, open the text drawer, and look for source text. Source text is a powerful and what I feel underused function within Adobe After Effects. If I keyframe the source text, and they set hold keyframes, which is interesting, and I go up to maybe 1 second, and I type the word motion, now look at that. And then what we can actually do is, go through and just copy and paste, right? Copy and paste. I'm just hitting Command V here. And we can get it to cycle through different words. This is a really fun way to animate text quickly, but also this is going to be a really amazing way that you will find on the ACP exam to do one of the very seemingly difficult questions in a really easy way. So definitely take time to do this on your own, make that composition, and have some fun. And that is just a quick review of fun keyframing elements. Go ahead and continue to practice these, continue to be able to identify how to hit U on your keyboard, how to move and adjust, how to open up the graph editor when you need it. Those are going to be really common things, not only on an ACP exam, but also just as a working motion designer. All right, everybody, I'll see you in the next video.